Thank you for having me here. Thanks, DevOpsDays, Kraków, and thanks for having me in your great country. I came from Israel. And a little bit about me. So you all came to hear my story. So first, let me introduce myself. Well, I'm doing DevOps for a lot of years, like way back when I joined the first startup on 2010, like 14 years ago. I became an ops engineer without really knowing that, and doing support for the product, getting out from IT world into the product world, delivering products to the customers. And I went a long way and did a huge kind of projects in banks and became a freelancer, became a trainer, an instructor, a lecturer, and found myself in the last 6-7 months in Papaya Global, which I call Papaya. And what we do in Papaya is that we develop cloud-based payments and payroll platforms. We are actually a fintech company. So we use technology to provide finance to our customers. We have a branch here in Kraków. We have people here in Kraków working. I'm working in the headquarters in Israel. And we have two products. One is payroll. The other one is payments. And we have the tools, we have the technology, from hiring and onboarding to paying employees around the world. We do it all from one platform, but I'm not here to sell you products. That's not what I came here to tell you. I'm not a selling kind of guy. I came to share stories. So my point here, my session is all about trying to plant an idea, great as it is, in your head, that you go out with something that you might want to implement in your company. Maybe it will work for you, maybe it not. Maybe it's just an idea. Maybe you have to design it and fit to your company and to your needs. But that's what I'm trying to sell you. I'm trying to sell you an idea, not products, not a company. So first, I will try to explain a little bit about our DevOps team in Papaya. Like, we have a team leader. She just joined. Yeah, she's a she. She's amazing and greatest. And she really fills our head and leads us the right way with ideas. And she also stays in Israel. We have one platform engineer, and we all say platform engineer because DevOps is not a title. DevOps is what we do. We enable people, right? We enable DevOps in our company. So we have another platform engineer in Kraków, in Poland, which is a great person. I really like him, has a huge heart. We have 3 more platform engineers, which I fit way over there. One of the platform engineers. We have another 3 in Israel. And we have another great one, very talented, in Ukraine. Very senior-like. And half a person. Like, what do you mean half a person? Like, he giving us 2 days out of his week, and he sits in Portugal. Great person also. So this is our team. Very different culture, very different language, but we still act as a team. Okay? Now, in order to be a team, And in order to share with you the great story that I'm going to show you, yeah, it's also tech stuff, right? You came here for tech stuff. You just didn't came here for just a story. You want to hear me, you want to see me, but you want to see some code, right? So in order to understand this code and to understand what we do here and how it works for us, you have to understand first the culture. And not the culture of the company, because developers have their own cultures, and most of the time it's not aligned with us. Okay, so it's always, sometimes it's us versus them, but the DevOps culture is very unique. I worked in a lot of companies, never seen this before. Okay, never seen this kind of team, and you have to be very unique to be in this kind of team. And it starts with everybody is in the same hierarchy, and everyone in the team has his own spots to shine, which means everyone has a say, everyone is getting heard in the daily, in the stand-ups, in the meetings, in the sprint meetings, when we design a sprint, and when we plan it. Everyone has a say. Everyone says how much time it will take him to complete the task, which tasks he wants, he prefers, and what he's better familiar with. A lot of people take ownership about things they done inside the team, right? And they're sharing knowledge with other people in the team, so the other people can do hands-on on their own stuff, on their own process. So there's a knowledge sharing, and everyone's doing review to everyone. We do review. I do review to the people in Kraków. I do review to the people in Ukraine. I do review to the people in Israel. They do review on my work. So everyone's familiar with everyone's work. So that's one thing. Not just team leader approves. Everyone can approve my work and can comment on my work. If something that I did wrong, I did a shitty job, or I didn't get it done, or the code has to be refactored, I get comments. I can discuss on this with the other team colleagues, or I can approve. I can say, okay, he's right, I am wrong. Okay, I will change, I will fix. Right? It's part of the team culture. Another thing we have, like I said, is we comment each other's work, ego is aside, and we cover each other's behind. We cover each other. We protect one another. We don't do blames culture. We don't say, he broke it, he has to fix it. Yeah, we have our jokes and laughs and say, he's a destroyer, he destroyed everything, and we're just laughing. But eventually, inside these jokes, there is a true honesty and true respect to one another. Everyone gets his own place, gets respected, gets to hear himself and to say what he means and to explain himself. I'm not saying there are mistakes, I'm doing mistakes, my team leader is doing mistakes, everyone is doing mistakes, even the senior ones, right? But the important fact is to understand this mistake, learn from it, and to say the truth, I made a mistake. Not to hide it behind the carpets. Because if you hide it, it eventually serves up, and then you became like a liar. You always try to protect your work. Don't do that. If you think you made a mistake, come forward and say, I made a mistake, I'm sorry. It happens because I did it too fast. What I learned from it. We don't do blame. It's okay, we cover each other. Like someone can tell me, Lidor, you made a mistake, I'm covering your ass. It's okay. I don't owe him one, but I will give him one eventually because that's the culture. If he's replacing me, I'm replacing him. Okay? Now, how about our tech stack? What we have there? A lot of we have so big team, right? So if we have so many platform engineers, we gotta have a technology stack. So we have Jira to plan our work and tasks and issues. We have Argo CD to do GitOps. we have GitHub Actions and workflows that provides the CICD. We have AWS, and when I'm saying AWS, of course, it's VPC, EC2, EKS, API Gateway, Lambdas, RDS, Aurora, whatever you want. All of this, right? All the platforms. Secrets Manager for storing our secrets because we can't keep it in the code, right? API keys, secrets. We have RabbitMQ in a service outside our cloud. We have MongoDB Atlas. We have Corologics to monitor everything and logs everything. Everything you see here is in code. I mean, we don't do things manual. Maybe if the first time, when we understand how it works, it goes to the Terraform and TerraGrant. Everything is in code. Even the Corologics. You want a dashboard, you want to make logs happen, you do it with code. That's our main way to do stuff in Papaya. Okay, so this is our stack. And now for the finale, yeah, for our CICD, for the main reason you came here. I will try to explain it to you because it's a little bit complicated, but bear with me. I will make it simple. That's what I'm good at, make things simple. So, yeah, when I look at that, I said, what the hell is going on here? So, let's do step by step. We have a developer. He wants to commit code, right? He wants to push code to his branch. So he do that. That's great. Nothing happens when you do that. That's the whole point. Right? A lot of people are trying to do like kind of CI when he commits a code. In us, no. When we do a PR, a pull request to the main branch, that's when things happen. When he creates a PR and closes it, like someone review and approves it, and he merged, or he commits directly to main, whatever, that's when the trigger happened. And we actually provide inputs from one workflow to another workflow. So we have like a standard library in GitHub, a standard library, a standard repo that we provided to the developers that has only workflows and only actions. And we call them from other repos. That's how we provided this self-service, CICD. Like, you have to provide the service name, node version if you are the Node.js developer, an account, and then you get tag release, you get evaluate release environments. That's always happened automatically. And the deploy and confirmation. From there, the deploy and confirmation goes to another workflow, which extracts secrets, prep Docker image, right? Build web assets, maybe. Maybe it's a build web asset, maybe it's a Docker container. Build web assets means that we also build static files for websites, that we store in S3. So maybe it's this, maybe it's that. It depends on the input. Always depends on the input from the developer repo. And that's when we get to the actions deploy, which goes to the Argo CD, and Argo CD says, hey, I'm GitOps, I'm looking. If something changed in the GitHub, then I'm deploying, and something changed in the GitHub because we just released a new version, so I'm deploying inside EKS, and that's just one environment. It gets to another environment and to another environment, and Argo CD is always inside EKS. So it's not the same Argo CD. We have Argo CD in each environment that deploys on each EKS. So we don't have one Argo CD that deploys to all of the EKSs. We have Argo CD in each cluster. And of course, we get confirmed, and when we get confirmed, we know that the pod was replaced. So that's that. I hope it was easy for you. It's a little bit more complicated. I try to make it simple. And that's what we see. Another thing, in order to get developers and R&D onboarding in our company, and they want to produce a new service. They want to open up a GitHub repo, right? Wrong. They do it with our infra repo. I mean, we have a repo that talks to GitHub and opens up repos in code. You don't do a new repo from your GitHub. You use Terraform code. That's what we ask developers, to use Terraform code to open up repos inside GitHub. Why we do that? We do that for a couple of reasons. First, templating. You must have someone to approve you for CICD, for pull requests, for deploying to production. Some of the team leaders have to approve it. It has to be templated. Because when you open up manual repo, you forget that you have to have branch rules. You forget you need to have manual approvals. You forget that. So in our template, it's already there. You just pick the names. You just put the GitHub names, and that's one thing. The other thing is the CICD. You want to have CICD inside your repo as day one. Not go to the DevOps, hey, please, I open up a new service. Please provide me a CICD. No, we already have CICD for every repo, even repos that we haven't opened yet. That's the whole point of getting an infra repo. So the infra repo does a lot of stuff. I know it looks simple because I try to simple it for you, but it's very much complex. And what we do there is, either you're developers or platform engineer, it doesn't really matter. We all work with the same rules in the infra repo. I'm not saying that developers need to run in the CLI Terra plan. No, that's not what I'm saying. They have workflows that do it for them. They didn't need the CLI installed even on their computers. Maybe I need it because I want to check stuff. I want to build new infra as code, write new files. So I need it, but they don't need it. They just commit code, and everything happens for them. So where they commit the code, is it the same like CICD? Almost, but different. Why? They need to have a branch with the name of the issue, the number of the issue, inside the branch name or the pull request, whatever. When they create a PR, something happens. Even before it's merged, even before it's approved, something happens when they create a pull request. What happens? Terra plan. It's planning the work. It's going to show me as the reviewer. I do review for the developers. Me, as a platform engineer. They ask me to approve that. So I look at the plan and I see what's going to be changed. If it's one environment, two environments, on which product, payroll or payments. If I approve, that's great. If I'm a bastard and I'm not approving, then they have to rework and have to fix it. That's the empowerment that I have on the developers. Okay? I also do the same thing with my team, with the platform engineers team. We do the same thing. Someone has to review my work. And if I break something, it's my fault. I don't go home until I fix it. I don't leave it like broken. Okay? If it's merged to main and it's broken, that's my fault. Even if the plan passed, things can still break on the apply. So what do we see here is we see a plan that checks the state in S3 and, of course, in AWS, Mongo, whatever they want to change here. GitHub, maybe there is a repo in GitHub. There is already a repo there. So you don't want to do apply on a repo that already exists, right? Maybe you're changing something in the repo. That's okay, right? So the state stays at S3 all the time on different accounts. We have multiple accounts. That's why the TerraGrant, the state is between those accounts, like it's inside each of those accounts, right? If I'm working on a dev account, the state of the dev account. If I'm working on prod account, then the state of the prod account, right? If I'm working on a main account, whatever. The state relatively stays inside S3 in different accounts. Now, if I do a merge, then TerraGrant runs everything, but only what was changed. Only if code was changed. They're not running the VPC all over again and the RDS all over again. If I change something in the VPC, they're running the VPC TerraGrant. If they're changing something on the EKS, it's running the EKS TerraGrant. Okay? And of course, we can apply it on AWS, GitHub, on specific account, on multiple accounts. That's the whole point of using TerraGrant. So we have TerraGrant, which of course uses Terraform, runs Terraform wrapper to Terraform, and deploys all of the resources inside CoreLogix, Rabbit, GitHub, AWS, whatever. Now, that's great. I mean, you showed us workflows. Looks amazing. Where is the code? Show us something. Explain to us how it works for you, so we can get it to work for you, right? So first you have to understand the structure of how we get things inside the infra repo, like the structure of the folders, where everything sits. If you understand that, that's how you build multiple accounts hierarchy. So first we have in the root folder of the repo, of the infra repo, two folders. One for TF models, models that we bring from outside, models that we develop ourselves, Terraform models, and the Terraform files itself. Now, inside the Terraform files itself, we have the root HCL, which actually provide the provider. If it's a GitHub provider, AWS provider, which accounts, of course, if it's a needed account, which region, everything is in the root HCL. We also have drill down, of course, from there. Maybe it's CoreLogix, maybe it's GitHub, maybe it's RabbitMQ, whatever. Inside our environments folder, we have the account HCL, which actually picks the specified accounts that you want to run in. Okay? You do an SSO login, and from that login, and inside the folders, we know which account was provided. So first you have to log in with your SSO credentials to AWS, and then from there, we know by service folders, we know which account to provide. Okay? From there, we have common tags, that's common tags to every service that we know TerraGrant actually provision those services. We have the region HCL that maybe you need to pick different region. Okay, so we have the region folders and the region specified by that region. Maybe you choose Ireland, maybe you choose Frankfurt, maybe you choose North Virginia, whatever. And we have the service folder, and inside the service folders, there is another service HCL, which we provide the name of the service that you want to build for all of the resources that you want to build inside the service. You want a bucket? Great. You want API gateway? Great. You want RDS, Aurora, all of this stuff? Look at the service name as a convention. So the service HCL is a naming convention that goes on to the resource below. And of course, in each resource folder, API gateway, whatever you want to create, there is eventually the TerraGrant HCL file. So that's the structure. Now, it's a lot of not a lot of companies in Israel doing that. I can tell you that. I've seen one company that's doing something like that. And it's really complex, I can say that. But that's, if you want to create in multiple accounts and multiple environments, that's the best practice that we found out. Maybe it's not perfect, maybe there's improvements, maybe there is a little bit repetition of code, but we try to avoid that. I can tell you honestly. Now, Lidor, we came here, we want to see, show us the money. Show me the money, what we want to see. Okay, we want to see some code. We still haven't seen some code. Okay, great. So, last thing I'm going to show you today is how to provide a TerraGrant HCL. And that's something you can have yourself because it's in my public GitHub repo. So you can take picture, go to this website at github.com and get the file from there. Get the whole structure if you want. So this is a structure I built in TerraGrant that shows exactly how I provision VPC in a dev environment, right? So I provide all the inputs I need, and that's my TerraGrant file. And if you use all of the things I showed you today with the workflows and everything, you can have that created automatically for you with GitHub workflows and GitHub runners. So we have a saying in Papaya. We have a saying, which I don't really like. First, I laughed when I heard it. Then I was in shock. Then I said, okay, enough is enough. We always say it is what it is. Okay? It started as a private joke, and now we say it almost on everything. Why it's legacy? Why it's stuff like that? Because it's legacy. It is what it is. Why it's like that? Because it is what it is. I dare them to say it is what it is one more time. But what we are saying is do not accept things like they are. Try to change it. Try to empower yourself. Try to make things happen. Even if it's idea. If you know, if you tell yourself, what Lidor showed this doesn't work at our place. Maybe. But maybe an idea of getting things done efficiently, more effectively, getting you less overwhelmed, getting you less initiative, and not responsive all the time. Because when you are responsive always to developers' needs, you don't get ahead. You don't design things on your own. You don't build nothing. You only react. If you want to build a platform, build a platform. Like, what's the next thing in our place? Like, we reached that level. That's great. We reached that level a couple of months ago, and we all went very enthusiastic about it and say proud about it, and said, yeah, this is our stuff, and no one can beat us, and great. What's the next thing? Let's think about the next thing. The next thing is MLOps. Getting CICD in MLOps is very different than what I showed here. That's the next level. Provide the data team, not just the R&D, the data team platform to train the model, to aggregate the data, to pre-process it. That's the next thing. That's the next CICD. That is where the future of what I shown here. Next level. So that's my idea. Maybe next year I will come here and show you that idea in real life. It's just an idea at the moment. It's not implemented anywhere, only in my head. But as it is in my head, it can be in your head to real life process and real life platform that can provide developers and R&D better way to develop stuff and have them take ownership about their services, not just ask you to respond. I'm not saying that we are not responsive at the moment to developers. Of course we are. We're supporting them in any way we can, but we let them take ownership. We don't do the work for them. I don't create stuff for them. I created a platform, they have to use it. If they don't want to use it, tough, their problem. It's not my job. I have my own task and my own services to build in every sprint. But I can help and I can assist and I can guide. That's the only way to get things done. So, in a finishing notes, early from what I promised, rate my lecture. That was me. I'm still around here. And I will be here also tomorrow morning. If you want to consult with me, and maybe share your thoughts and rate me, of course. Thank you for having me.